Hello, everyone. I'm Elora Murray, and welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I am joined today by Crystal, who is the Youth Education Director at the University of Utah, and we are so excited to have you here, Crystal. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Really excited as well.
All right, as a parent, I will take all the information, all of the facts, all of the things when it comes to education for our youth. So let's start off right off the bat. What is youth education at the University of Utah?
Yeah, so youth education at the University of Utah is essentially just education opportunities for students that are 5 to 17 years old. So not those students that aren't necessarily, able to go to college yet have the opportunity to come to the University of Utah campus, see what it kind of feels like to be a student and do it during the summer when there's a lot of exciting things happening around where we're at.
I love that. And summer is such a good time for kids to come and explore this because they can forget a lot of stuff that they learned during the school year. And this keeps their mind sharp, keeps them entertained. Talk to me about everything that you guys offer.
Yeah, and that is such a big part of, what we want to notice is that brain drain is real in the summer. And so with our programs offer, we have 4 different things. So we have Club U, which is traditional day camp. So it is that fun summer camp style where they are getting to explore the university. They're going on fun field trips across the valley, things like that. And then we do have our campus camps where they're doing more specialized. So if students are really interested in like game design or robotics or even just like pottery and things like that. We have over 300 camps in that area. For a student that has whatever interests they have, we probably have a camp for that. And then we additionally, outside of, that summer camp that we offer, we also have ACT prep during the school year. For our older students. And then we do have a high school cohort program called Paths for students across the valley to join.
Amazing. You offer so many things. And I honestly, I didn't know the term brain drain was a thing. But I just said that I knew kids' brains kind of didn't retain a lot during the summer. So that's a new term that I've learned during this podcast. What is the overall goal or mission behind all of your programs for the youth?
Yeah, so even though we have a wide variety of offerings, our main mission is to ensure that students are getting innovative, experiential learning through the University of Utah, but also just within a fun setting. It's not necessarily school, right? We are in summer, we want to embrace that, but we do want them to have those elements throughout the whole entire year and just support them and build them up to be the great learners and leaders they can be.
Amazing. So for families who are new to your program, how should they decide between Club U and a campus camp?
Like I mentioned, Club U is really that traditional camp style where kids are doing arts and crafts in the morning and then they go to the pool or we take them to the park. And so if you have a kiddo that just wants to get outside and you're not, you're working and you just want to be able to provide them with that awesome opportunity, I think that's great. They get to make a lot of new friends. They get to explore things around the valley, like I mentioned. And so that's a lot of fun. If you have a student that is really interested in something, maybe they do have sometimes a hard time making friends, it's great to get them into a space where they have already something in common with these other campers that we like to call them. And so they get to make a lot of new friends as well. They get to learn more in the skills that they're interested in. And it's just still just as fun, but in a way that works for that student.
I love that. So there really is something for every type of kid, for whatever they're interested in.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Okay. What kind of skills or takeaways do students gain from attending your programs? I mean, there's so many options and there's so many different ages. What kind of skills and takeaways are they going to have?
Yeah, I think across the board, right, kids are learning social skills. Again, with that brain drain, that's something that they might lack in the summer when they're not in a classroom setting. And so they're around a bunch of other students their age. We have hundreds of kids here every single week. And so they're building on those social skills. They're maintaining friendships. That's something that you'll see in every single camp, regardless what it is.
Right.
But, we have in those specialized areas robotics stuff. So we have kids that are learning coding at a super young age, which is super exciting. It really just depends on what that kid is interested in, but really the skills and takeaways can go, beyond the classroom. with those social skills and things like that, but also those like tangible hands-on skills as well.
I love that. And I mean, social skills, there's something to be said for those. They can take kids really far. And during the summer, sometimes when you're not around kids your age, that can be hard to maintain those. So these camps are a great way, to help them educationally and socially.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a structure to them. We like to call it, chaotic structure, basically, of where they're having a lot of fun in between, but we do have them on a schedule, right? They're eating lunch at a specific time. They have transition periods, everything.
Chaotic structure is how I live my life. So I fully understand that. Can you share a memorable story from a past student or an experience you've had that sticks with you?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about Club U, campus camps, all, youth education as a whole is we really build relationships with students from 5 years old all the way until they're 17. And a lot of times our students become counselors and they get to have employment after that. And so I've gotten to see some students since they were 5. They were the first time at camp, they were super nervous, and seeing them grow into those different phases. I think that's one of the most memorable things about it, is that we are really building something here that people are appreciating and they're coming back to every year, which is such a great sign to us that we're doing things the right way. We have counselors, like I mentioned, that started to camp at 5 and are now being a counselor with those kiddos and talking about how much they've enjoyed their time here and things like that. And so that's been really, I think, the most fun part, is being able to build relationships with people, even though it's only over the summer, and seeing them year after year.
Oh, I love that. That's so precious. And honestly, this is my next question. This sounds enormously overwhelming to me, and it's probably why it is your job and not mine. What goes into planning a summer with literally hundreds of camps? How do you even go about doing that?
Yeah, so August ends, when summer ends, we're already starting prep for the next summer. Right. So really there's just no time off for us, which is good because that means that we're creating some awesome experiences, right? We're really putting the work into it. But I'd say one of the biggest things that we do in preparation is find out what people are interested in. Like I said, we have a camp for every single interest, but we need to know what those interests are before we start building those camps out. So we, for example, we did a scuba diving camp this year. And that was something that we looked into, saw that there was some interest there. And it was one of our first camps to sell out. We've been doing a lot of space related camps because, the Project Hail Mary, we just had another space launch. And so doing things like that and staying along the trends has been really helpful for us in our planning.
All right. So speaking of, the camps and activities, what is your favorite camp activity and why?
I would say mine is Popsicle Friday at Club Camp. It is a lot of the kids' favorite as well. It's just a nice little treat to end camp. They all get a popsicle before they head home to their parents. So we leave it to the parents. Sorry, parents. We leave them with the sticky hands on the last day. Well,
that's why it's your favorite activity, is you don't have to deal with the sticky hands.
Yes. But it's we took great care of them all week. And so that's, just sorry. That's the one last thing. But no, it's just so fun because then we get to walk around and hear about what their favorite thing was during the week. And they get to say goodbye to their counselor. We do have kids that come all throughout the summer. It is, either week-based or they can sign up every single week. But that's just so much fun to be able to have a sweet little treat and hear about how much fun they had.
I love it. Besides picking their kids up and seeing they have sticky hands, what's something that always surprises parents when their kids attend?
I think going back to that structured chaos, I think they see the magnitude once they step onto campus and see how many kids are there. And I think that can be daunting for parents, right? To be like, I'm leaving all of the, there's definitely a lot of counselors, but there's definitely a lot more kids. And so I think that's something that they've really appreciated, is how communicative we are, how much we have planned everything. We really do think of everything. And I think, parents see that and they recognize that, and they're shocked when they see how many kids we're doing that for with such a small team, and quite honestly.
So amazing. That it honestly sounds like a dream for kids and a dream for parents during the summer. What's one thing, I mean, I'm sure there are lots of parents listening and they're like, you know what, I absolutely want to get my student, my child involved in this. What is something they should know before enrolling their child?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, think about summer before summer happens is my
Mm.
biggest thing for parents. We do have enrollment opening in February. That's when we open it for the
Oh,
schools
okay.
for the summer. And so we do have availability throughout the summer. Like right now, we still
Mm.
have camps available. So there are still options, but I would definitely just say, think about what you want your students to be doing in the summer before then. And if not, then just give us a call and we'll find a right spot for them.
Okay. So if they are listening to this next year, get started in February, but they still have time to enroll. They still have time to
Yeah.
get their kiddos into these camps. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. There's still
Okay.
spots, but it's always better to be prepared.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is always better to be prepared. Sometimes being a parent, things slip. And so that is why parents listen. You still have time to get them into camp, but next year, start thinking about it in February.
Yes. Get those prime spots.
Perfect. And you mentioned this a little earlier in the interview. You talked about ACT prep. What do you offer for that?
Yeah, so we do a really cool hybrid model where we give students access to an online ACT prep resource. Along with that, we do in-person classes. So they have an instructor that's working with them face to face, providing them with specific subjects every single day of the ACT prep class. And then they get to go home and utilize those resources and tools that they gained from that instructor at home. And so we see a huge increase in ACT scores once a student has either
Wow.
right before they started to the end.
Okay. And I mean, that was my next question. I was going to be like, how does this really help kids? And it is really helping them get those better scores. How is it doing that?
Yeah, so I would say, so the tool that we utilize is Magoosh, and they are funny name, but really great
One to remember.
resource. Yes, definitely. So the things that they have online for students to be able to use, like practice tests and things like that, are super helpful. Then that face-to-face instructor time is really great as well because students can talk about the areas that they're struggling with, and our instructors have been doing this for years. And so they really have that, recipe down to a T on how to help students with those really, honestly, sometimes scary ACT tests. So,
I mean, I remember, back in the Stone Age when I took it, it was a scary thing. And so
yeah.
it's great that you have this support. Now, is this just something that is in the summer or does this go into the fall as well?
Yeah, so we do offer some in summer and then we do have fall and spring, and we try to align them perfectly with the big ACT tests that they
Right.
take in the spring.
Okay, perfect. And then you talked about this earlier too. You said the term paths, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
What is paths?
Yeah, so it stands for providing access throughout high school. And that,
Okay.
like I said, with youth education, we're all over the board. So we have fun day camps and things, but then we also really focus in with our high schools in this program. And it's a cohort program that runs from the beginning of their freshman year all the way until their first day of college or, career
Okay.
placement that they go into. And we provide them with a mentor. We do monthly activities, and then they actually come join us in the summer as well and do some fun summer camp activities.
Okay, I love that. And how have you seen this help students succeed?
Yeah, I mean, just this year alone, we had our graduating class had over $200,000 in scholarships earned across the board in our cohort.
Yay!
Yeah, so exciting. Some full tuition, full room, full meals, all of it, which is exactly what the goal is of our program, is to have that structure for them to be able to see all the way from the beginning of ninth grade that there's a bigger goal that we're trying to get them to. Sometimes students aren't really thinking, that far ahead. And so this program
Well,
really.
yeah, when you were ninth grade, when you were a freshman, you're about, I don't know, 15 years old.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to see, to think about, when you're going to college, when that's happening, everything that happens from then to, 15 to that first day of school. So I love that you guys have this for those kids.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
You have so many camps. We've talked about this. What are your most popular camps that, those sweet kids are just absolutely loving?
Yeah. Club Youth is that traditional day camp, that one is so popular, so fun, right? They go on all those field trips. I mentioned scuba diving. That was a big new hit this year. Robotics is a really big one because we have a class for students in each age group. So they can actually, they'll age out of one camp and then they can go do another one. And so we have a huge offering of that, and it's super popular. Our pottery classes are super fun, and they also are very popular as well.
I love it. And I mean, you really have something for all interests. I mean, kids that are into art and then kids that are, more into science. There is really something there for whatever your child is interested in.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. So honestly, my kiddo isn't old enough to go yet, but we talked earlier about how being prepared. So he's only 2 right now. So I am ready for 3 years from now in February to sign him up.
Start looking at him. Yeah.
For one of these camps. Crystal, for those listening and they're like, I am ready. I got to sign my kids up. I got to do this now. Where can we go for more information? How do they do it?
Yeah, so go to youth.utah.edu, and that will have all of our camp offerings. It's a really user-friendly site. Like I mentioned, we have hundreds of camps, so you can go based off of like sports and recreation or arts and things like that to get that breakdown. And I'd also say to join our mailing list because we send out a weekly email. So if you are joining us in July and looking for camps, then you can sign up for that email and we can tell you which camps we have availability in, because there's definitely still some opportunities for this summer to have your students have some fun.
Yeah. It is, like we said, it is not too late. You can get your kiddos signed up for this based on their interest. Before we wrap up, Crystal, is there anything else you want, parents or maybe, kids who are listening to podcasts, anything you want them to know about these programs that you haven't mentioned?
Oh man, I mean, I probably did already mention it a few times, but just knowing that there's a space for you and that we want to help out families in the summer when there's not school, and we want to help kids in the summer to be able to have these fun experiences and do all the things. So
I think that's great. There is a space for you. You're going to have fun. You're going to connect. It's safe. You're going to be with, kids your own age. Your kids will be in, great care. And what is the term that you taught me? Brain drain?
Brain drain, yeah.
Okay. We are going to avoid brain drain this summer, I'm going to be using that word forever. It's going to be like my phrase of the week.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's a good one and it's real. So
and you guys are there to prevent it. Well, yes. Crystal, thank you so much for being with us. I wish I was younger so I could go and attend these camps. Love it. Excited for my child to attend when he gets older. Everyone who's been listening, thank you so much for joining us today. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.